Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Capizzi, and I wanted to do a little pre-teach lesson for tomorrow where we will be subtracting mixed numbers in 9-10. So first I want to go over some examples that would be very straightforward, meaning that there's no regrouping necessary. So for example, if I have 7 and 5/8. So this is my mixed number. I have 7 wholes and 5/8, and I'm subtracting out 2 and 4/8. Just like when you're subtracting whole numbers, if the top number is more than the bottom number, then you can subtract. So I've got 5/8 minus 4/8 is 1/8, and 7 minus 2 is 5. So 7 and 5/8 minus 2 and 4/8 is 5 and 1/8. So now I want to do one more example that's written horizontally. So I've got 4 and 5/6 minus 1 and 8. I'm sorry, minus 1 and 1/6. So again, I check, I can subtract my whole numbers, 4 minus 1, and I can also subtract my fractions because 5/6 is more than 1/6. So 4 minus 1 is 3, and 5/6 minus 1/6 is 4/6. Okay, so those are some straightforward examples. Now, the next examples that I'm going to do require you to rename a fraction. So I'm going to do a couple examples of renaming mixed numbers so that we will be able to apply that when we're subtracting mixed numbers. So for example, if I have a whole number of, let's say, 4, okay, I can rename that as 3 and 4/4 because the 4/4 equals 1 whole, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So I'm going to show you an example where you will need to do this. So if I have 4 and I'm subtracting out 1 and 3/4. You'll see here I don't have a fraction piece here, so I can't take 3/4 from nothing. So what I'm going to do is rename 4 as 3 and 4/4. So just like regular subtracting, I'm actually going to regroup. So the 4 will become a 3. But since I have fourths here, instead of moving the 1 whole, I'm going to rewrite it as 4/4. So 3 and 4/4 is the same thing as 4 wholes. So now you'll see I'm able to do my subtraction. So I've got 4/4 minus 3/4, which is 1/4, and 3 minus 1, which is 2. So let's do another example where I'm going to rename 4 and 1/8. Okay, so here, if I need to rename this, I'm going to take 1 whole away. So 1 less than 4 is 3, but I took the 1 whole and I'm going to rename that as 8/8. So I took 1 away from the 4 and made it a 3. And now 1/8 plus 8/8 is 9/8. So just like if I was working backwards, if I was renaming 3 9/8, I should get back to 4 1/8. So 3 9/8 is equal to 3 plus 8/8 plus 1/8. And I'm going to circle all the fractions that are equal to one whole. So then I've got 3 plus 1 whole plus 1/8, which is 4 1/8. So you can see that I got back to the 4 1/8. So I'm going to show you an example of when you would need to do this. So, for example, if I had 4 1/8 and I need to subtract 1 4/8. I look here and I can't take 4/8 from 1/8, so I need to rename it. So I'm going to go to my whole numbers and I'm going to take 1 away. So I'm going to cross off the 4 and make it a 3, and that 1 whole that I just renamed, I'm going to add that back as 8/8. So I already had 1/8 and I have now 8/8, so the fraction portion of this would be 9/8. So now I've got 9/8 minus 4/8, which is 5/8, and 3 minus 1, which is 2. So these are the types of problems that just require a lot of practice. So we will be practicing this in school tomorrow. So what I'm going to have you do is, if you fold your paper into 4 equal boxes, I'm going to give you 2 straightforward problems and 2 problems where you will need to rename your fractions in order to subtract. So the first one here, we'll do 8 7/8 minus 2 4/8, and that should be nice and straightforward. And another one would be, I'll write a horizontal example. So we've got 12 9/12 minus 10 7/12. So that should be nice and straightforward. Now the 2 examples down here, you will need to rename the fraction in order to subtract. So for example, give this one a try. 4 5/10 minus 1 9/10. And the last one for you to try for today will be 26 3/5 minus 13 4/5. So I want you to write these 4 problems down and then pause the video, and when you're ready, come back and check your answers with the video. Okay, so this top example here, I can do 7/8 minus 4/8, which is 3/8 and 8 minus 2, which is 6. Super easy. And then here I check my fraction portion. 9/12 minus 7/12, I can do that. And I can also do 12 minus 10. So 12 minus 10 is 2, and 9/12 minus 7/12 is 2/12. Now, the example down here, I cannot take 9/10 from 5/10. So I'm going to take one whole away, so the 4 becomes a 3, and since I have tenths, I'm going to add that back in as 10/10. So 5/10 plus 10/10 equals 15/10. So now I can subtract my fraction portion. I have 15/10 minus 9/10, which is 6/10, and 3 minus 1, which is 2. And here you'll see I cannot take 4/5 from 3/5. So just because the numbers are bigger doesn't mean that the way that you solve them is any different. So I'm going to take 1 away from 26 and make it 25. And this time, since I have fifths, the one whole I just took away, I'm going to add that back in as 5/5. So now 3/5 plus 5/5 equals 8/5. So I renamed 26 and 3/5 to be 25 and 8/5. And now I can subtract my fractions. 8/5 minus 4/5 is 4/5, and 5 minus 3 is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So my answer is 12 and 4/5. I hope this video helped. Please let us know if you have any questions, and remember, we will be practicing this more in class, and the more you practice it, the more comfortable you will be with doing subtracting mixed numbers. Have a great day.